Hey there, folks. John Boy here. And yeah, I just want to go over the team really quickly. I don't really have any fancy animations or anything. Yeah, so just getting into the team, just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I did have Cradilly that I brought to the match because I really love this Pokemon. Of course, it's got Storm Drain, and that's really good for redirection of like the Urshifu, the striking form, and then of course Tapu Fini if it decides to do like a Muddy Water or something like that. But I thought the matchup was pretty okay. But yeah, I went with a bulky set. It has Storm Drain. I gave it Grassy Seed so it could boost that defense because it was a pretty physically offensive team, I thought. Just had some standard special attacking moves on it. One of the plans was to go with Suicune. I brought this week that was just fully defensive bulk, max HP, but it was modest, and it had Surf and Snarl, Icy Wind, to get off some chip damage. All those are spread moves because I don't have too many spread moves on the set. So I wanted to, balance it out with Suicune. Of course, the classic Surf. It hits Cradilly, but then also hits the opponents. Cradilly eats it up for a special attack boost, and then it can start going in for damage, of course. It has Giga Drain to sustain itself and go from there. Of course, Suicune can't get faked out because of inner focus, so that was one of the first strategies there. Then we get to the star of the show, I think, with the drum solo, which is Rillaboom. I really enjoy this Pokemon. It can put out a lot of damage. I went for Life Orb this week, because again, damage, and in the grassy terrain and base 160 max move, it was going to go all right. I had thought about putting high horsepower on it. I guess I decided against it at some point. I don't know. I feel like me and Prep and like me, the battler, are like two different people or something sometimes. Because I got into the match and I'm like, where's high horsepower? What did I do? But that's okay. So, but yeah, really just fully offensive, a little bit of bulk, especially defensive-wise, because again, I thought the team was very physically offensive. And then I've got Comfey, just standard healing. I put Giga Drain on it because, one, the grassy terrain, and then two, it had a pretty good matchup in terms of type-wise. So instead of doing the Draining Kiss, I went for Giga Drain. That ended up helping me later, especially in the third match. And then, we've got Volcarona, which is basically just like almost completely max speed, well enough to outspeed some of the threats by a point or two, and then just max special attack. I gave it the Focus Sash, didn't put anything into bulk because it was meant to take a hit, go down to 1 HP, do some great damage, redirect if I really needed it to, and I think it accomplished that job very well. And then, of course, Hitmonlee had the normal gem, so when I fake out Pokemon, it will do big damage initially, and then I can get off my Unburden, and that's just a little bit unexpected, I thought, because of course everyone expects the Grassy Seed or to do a Draining Kiss on it for, I don't know, weakness policy, but I decided to go for the normal gem to get that off. Of course, there is a little bit of risk with that if you don't get off a fake out, but most of the time I'd be clicking fake out on that thing and getting it off. So so that's the team, and what I was expecting from Burst was the Urshifu, the Togetic, the Talonflame, and probably the Fini, because Fini's a big hitter. And those were the ones that I was really preparing for, and trying to, make sure that I could check them. I kind of thought about the Magnezone. The Magnezone did end up coming, but I was kind of iffy if they would bring the Magnezone, because I did have pretty good answers to it for the most part. So we're going to get into the match. Alright, so here we are for week 2 with eMburst. So let's see. looking at the team here, my biggest concern was seeing that the Talonflame had come and the Togetic. I had kind of imagined that the Togetic would probably come because of that sweet redirection. But I was like, well, since the Talonflame's here, I have to have a fake out Mon. So decided to bring Hitmonlee to this first match here. And of course, Rillaboom. So going into the whole match, I just wanted Rillaboom to do some big damage. I mean, it hits most of his Mons pretty well. And then I did have kind of an alternative plan with the Cradilly with that grassy seed on it. But so I think about the match here while the clock ticks down, and then we get into it. So, all right. Waiting for that animation there. But yeah, so I see the Finny Sceptile lead. I say, well, okay, great. Don't see the Talonflame, so I don't have to worry about Tailwind. What was really funny here, I did go min speed Rillaboom, so I knew I would set up my terrain. Of course, the Sceptile had the seed on it, so it gets the seed and unburden, but then it also gets a boost. But I didn't think they would max the Sceptile. I was thinking the Finny, if anything, you know, for some good damage. So I went for the fake out and then just a big hit, whatever would come in based on Burst's team. I thought I could hit it hard even if he switched. I know it's kind of an obvious switch there, but you know, just in case, wanted to hit it real hard. So luckily switches into the Magnezone, so this will do, I think, neutral damage, and we'll see how that goes. But that 160 base damage is going to come off pretty well, which is really nice. So I get the normal gem off, do some pretty nice chunk there to the Sceptile, and now I've got my Unburden, do a big hit there on the Magnezone. That was really nice. And yeah, so turn one was kind of just a switch in for Burst, and yeah, nothing on the Sceptile. So here I just say, well, you know, I'm just going to power up Hitmonlee, and I think I can, you know, knock out the Magnezone. And I'm going to go into the Sceptile and do some big damage there. So, now that I'm fast with Hitmonlee, I can get off some attacks and do that. Ends up maxing the Sceptile, which is cool. Of course, it does have that grassy terrain boost, and it's super fast. But Sceptile is very frail. Here you can see the Max Ooze doesn't really do much. I'm assuming it's a special attacker since it's running Max Ooze. But I end up doing a really nice chunk there. And I do take out the Magnezone, which is really nice. And we've got all that going on there. So here I'm thinking I'm doing pretty well in the first match. I've got my attack boost, Hitmonlee super fast. And we're into the final turn of Dynamax. Which, you know, of course, after Dynamax leaves, then I'll have priority in the grassy terrain. Oh, but the terrain goes away, which is too bad. But here I say, I mean, I took out 2 of his Mons already, so I can safely go into the Tapu Fini and hopefully Oko and just take out the Sceptile here. Now, I was worried about a Protect from the Sceptile, but it was a risk, you know, at this point in the game that I was willing to take. So, luckily, a Max Ooze comes off, and I don't really have to worry about that. So I do take out the Sceptile with my attack boost, get a little bit of chip on Finny. Unfortunately, it doesn't flinch, and it does knock me out, and that's how it goes. But I do go in for the drum solo and take out the Finny, which was very nice. So again, Rillaboom with the big damage is going super well. So we got one last Mon left, and we're going to throw out Comfey. It is the Lycanroc, luckily. So now I don't have priority, but I still do just have Grassy Glide in the least. I'm sure they're running a Cellrock. Here I actually did misclick. I meant to give myself some health. But that's okay. You know, it doesn't super matter right now, I guess. But I get hit with the Cellrock. And, yeah, take it down to its sash. So that's cool. I did not want to attack the Lycanroc. For one, I didn't want to reveal the Giga Drain yet. But, yeah, I did want to see if it had Sash, and it did. So, do heal up comfortably, just in case I get attacked. I think, yeah, he ends up attacking me there, and then I knock out the Lycanroc. So, pretty clean first game. Kind of lame that Hitmonlee went down, but that's how it goes. So, we're going to get into game 2 here. And since I did pretty well with the first set, I thought I would bring a very similar one to the second. Rillaboom is my big hitter here. Hitmonlee has a lot of fake out pressure. Of course, Rillaboom has fake out too, which is really nice because, you know, the component or the opponent doesn't know who is going to fake out. So I do like the double fake out lead. And then I'm sitting on this for a little bit here. I don't know if it's going to be switched up, his leads. I was thinking maybe Talonflame would come out, perhaps, or maybe since, you know, they know that I've got a very offensive Rillaboom, that, you know, some setup would try to be happening or something like that. So let's get into this match here. Okay, so yeah, Talonflame instead of the Togetic, and that's okay. And this is exactly what I brought the fake out for. Although I did kind of, you know, I haven't seen Quick Guard in a while, and I think he ends up putting up a Quick Guard to defend against my fake out. Which, you know, I mean, obvious play, yeah, fake out the Tailwind user. But, I mean, you know, it's a risk worth taking, I thought. It's, you know, I look like a real dummy if I don't do fake out if they do end up getting the Tailwind off. So, you know, I max, of course, classic first turn max with the Rillaboom just to get the damage going. We see a Magnezone max, and then I realized that I did not put high horsepower on my Rillaboom, which is kind of a bummer, but that's all right. You know, I go for a max Knuckle, and, you know, that'll get our attacks up. Hitmonlee is now a threat. Unfortunately, it doesn't use its normal gym, if I remember right. I think since it got blocked, it didn't use it. So that's fine. I'm faster than the Magnezone, of course. I don't think I'm faster than the Talonflame, though. So with all that going on, I just decided to go for a Max Knuckle here. I would switch. I know I'm going to go down if I get hit again. But if I can get a Max Knuckle off before I get hit somehow, then I can get more offense put onto the Hitmonlee. Unfortunately, you know, I've got low defense. I go down to a Brave Bird, but the priority on Talonflame does go away. I do get off the Max Knuckle, but, of course, yeah, Hitmonlee is down, so no one to raise the attack. And we got a double KO him, so at this point, I'm just deciding to scout. You know, Game 2 is kind of going downhill. I don't really have super good hits on Magnezone, especially in my max form where it's like base 90, I think. So I just go out into my last two, and, you know, I just try to not reveal too much on either. I do reveal my Grassy Seed here. I've got pretty good defense, which is nice against that Talonflame. But, yeah, I don't really have a good hit on anything, so yeah, I just go for that on the Cradilly, and I think that was Protect on Comfey, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. Now, I could see with these two, you know, you're taking a little bit of time. Oh, yeah, Helping Hand, just to get some big damage off. Steel Wing comes out on Comfey, which is fine. Next Steel Spike. Oh, unfortunately, it gets me. It is maxed, so, and it's got pretty high special attack. And yeah, I did have a lot of, it was a bulky Cradilly, but, yeah, that makes sense, it goes down, so, yeah, Magnezone is a beast, especially, anyway. So, Comfey, I just keep going for Helping Hand. I know I had revealed the, I think, Floral Healing the Game 1, but I didn't want to reveal my attacking move, and I surely didn't want to, like, accidentally heal my opponent. I mean, I guess I could have in good faith, but I just let Comfey go down. So we take a loss for Game 2, and yeah, I didn't get any knockout. So in Game 3, I was thinking that, yeah, I just, you know, I know that the Magnezone's there. I need to bring, you know, a better check to Magnezone. So I'm looking at the Volcarona, and I'm thinking how I want to lead. So given that there's the Togetic for redirection, I need something to hit Togetic really hard. I was thinking about that. Talonflame wasn't too much of a concern as long as I can keep everything healthy. But we've got this going here. So I start out with my same exact lead, the double fake out pressure, and have Volcarona in the back for Magnezone, because I'm sure that Burst is like, well, Magnezone worked out really well, let's bring it again. So same leads. So now here it's the mind games. Again, it's like, well, if I don't fake out, I'm probably going to be in a bad position. Could Brave Bird into me, but then I'd be able to fake it out. So, I was considering hitting the Magnezone, and I just go for that because, given our game before on bursts in, it's like, well, got to do the quick guard just in case. So I go off of that, and I go full-on damage into that Magnezone to try and get rid of it. So that was my little mind game here, and I think it turned out okay for me, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to get some big damage off into the Magnezone so there comes out the quick guard. Fantastic. So I did judge it right, hit it with the high jump kick, and I don't think this will KO. Yeah, so it just almost gets there, but it's well within range from really anything from my side. And Max Steel Spike comes out, but it goes into the Hitmonlee and actually takes Hitmonlee out, which is unfortunate. Has really high special defense, but Magnezone is a beast with its special attack, so that's how that goes. So now we can get out Volcarona and start setting up. So with Volcarona here, we can start setting up the Quiver Dance, so I can start to outspeed everything, and then also just get off some really nice damage. So here I'm looking at my options, and I decided to go for Max Darkness. The Magnezone is kind of not really going to do much to what's going on my side. It's not going to hit Volcarona very hard. If I get up a Quiver Dance, I'll have a special defense boost anyway. So I think it was safe to go for a Quiver Dance here, boost my stats, and get some damage off into that Talonflame. Yeah, so that does a pretty okay chunk, but I know I can live another one and go for that Max Darkness there. That also does help Volcarona since it lowers the special defense over there, so that kind of worked out. But so Tailwind is up, but I'm pretty sure Volcarona can still outspeed if my calculations were correct. So I just decide to go on to the offensive here, knock out the Magnezone, and do that. It goes into a Brave Bird into Rillaboom for some reason. I do have a Focus Sash on my Volcarona, but Rillaboom survives. I knock out the Magnezone, and then here I knock out the Talonflame. Fantastic. So, he's got Tailwind on his end, but I have Rillaboom over here, and then I've got a Quiver Dance off on my Volcarona, so that's going okay. Alright, so what I feared happened. Togetic comes out, so I know that's going to have redirection. I need to knock this thing out. So, I wanted to conceal the Rillaboom for the late game, because I would have priority, right? So, best case scenario, later the terrain will go out. I can just reset it if I need to. So I switch out here into the Comfey, and then I go for big damage onto the Togetic. Burst ends up doing a Swords Dance, which is kind of scary, but again, I do have Sash that I haven't revealed on Volcarona yet. I haven't used it first two games. I do get the special attack boost, which is really nice. I know I could still probably hit the Togetic really hard, unless it was like the lowest roll possible. But luckily, I go for the Helping Hand here, just in case, I guess, for good measure. And, I go for the Togetic. Now, I didn't expect the Helping Hand, honestly, but that's fine with me. I have my own Helping Hand, but I want to get rid of that Togetic so it wouldn't bother me. Goes down to Sash, because that's a quad weakness there. But I do hit the Togetic, and luckily knock it out. Very bulky, those Togetics are. Get a little bit of recovery there, but that's okay. Tailwind peters out, but that doesn't really matter. We're dealing with priority. But here, I go for the Giga Drain, and then I want to get off damage. I don't think that I'm going to do anything, so I decide to go for the Rage Powder in case, an Iron Head comes out or something like that, trying to get rid of the Comfey, and I definitely don't want to get like a crit Iron Head or something. So I do go down, but this is all according to plan because I've got my Rillaboom to come reset the terrain. And then here, it's really just a matter of taking out the Lycanroc. I do have Life Orb on the Rillaboom, but luckily, since it's +3 priority on that Giga Drain, I should just clean it up. And the terrain gives me a boost, again, in case I had a super low roll. So that's about how the match goes there. So I end up getting the W at the very end and, getting the game fairly cleanly. I mean, match 2 was a little rough, but after, I think, the second turn there, I really just decided to start scouting and seeing what I could do. So there's a few luck-based things there. In Game 3, I was kind of really aiming for that end game. I got kind of lucky on a few things, but yeah, definitely the Volcarona with the Focus Sash was a great idea because I had seen Burst's team, and I know Lycanroc is the mortal enemy of a Volcarona, so I decided to put a Focus Sash on it. Volcarona can get pretty bulky, but in this matchup anyway, I thought it was pretty vital to have the Focus Sash. But yeah, that's about how the match goes. A few things that I was thinking about, I think I went over in the intro. So anyway, thanks guys for watching, and happy week 2.